Welcome to One Chapter, One Thought. I'm Pastor Chris from Lincroft Bible Church in New Jersey, and every weekday I read one chapter of the Bible and offer one brief devotional thought. Today's reading is from the book of Psalms, chapter 18. For the choir director, a psalm of David, the servant of the Lord. He sang this song to the Lord on the day the Lord rescued him from all of his enemies and from Saul. He sang, I love you, Lord. You are my strength. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my Savior. My God is my rock in whom I find protection. He is my shield, the power that saves me, and the place of my safety. I called on the Lord who is worthy of praise, and he saved me from my enemies. The ropes of death entangled me. The floods of destruction swept over me. The grave wrapped its ropes around me. Death laid a trap in my path. But in my distress I cried out to the Lord. Yes, I prayed to my God for help. He heard me from his sanctuary. My cry to him reached his ears. Then the earth quaked and trembled. The foundations of the mountains shook. They quaked because of his anger. Smoke poured from his nostrils. Fierce flames leaped from his mouth. Glowing coals blazed forth from him. He opened the heavens and came down. Dark storm clouds were beneath his feet. Mounted on a mighty angelic being, he flew, soaring on the wings of the wind. He shrouded himself in darkness, veiling his approach with dark rain clouds. Thick clouds shielded the brightness around him and rained down hail and burning coals. The Lord thundered from heaven. The voice of the Most High resounded amid the hail and burning coals. He shot his arrows and scattered his enemies. Great bolts of lightning flashed, and they were confused. Then, at your command, O Lord, at the blast of your breath, the bottom of the sea could be seen. The foundations of the earth were laid bare. He reached down from heaven and rescued me. He drew me out of deep waters. He rescued me from my powerful enemies and from those who hated me and were too strong for me. They attacked me at a moment when I was in distress, but the Lord supported me. He led me to a place of safety. He rescued me because he delights in me. The Lord rewarded me for doing right. He restored me because of my innocence. For I have always kept the ways of the Lord. I have not turned from my God to follow evil. I have followed all of his regulations. I have never abandoned his decrees. I am blameless before God. I have kept myself from sin. The Lord rewarded me for doing right. He has seen my innocence. To the faithful you show yourself faithful. To those with integrity you show integrity. To the pure you show yourself pure, but to the crooked you show yourself shrewd. You recognize the humble, but you humiliate the proud. You light a lamp for me. The Lord my God lights up my darkness. In your strength I can crush an army, and with my God I can scale any wall. God's way is perfect. All the Lord's promises prove true. He is a shield for all who look to him for protection. For who is God except the Lord? Who but our God is a solid rock? God arms me with strength, and he makes my way perfect. He makes me sure-footed as a deer, enabling me to stand on mountain heights. He trains my hands for battle. He strengthens my arm to draw a bronze bow. You have given me your shield of victory. Your right hand supports me. Your help has made me great. You have made wide a path for my feet and to keep them from slipping. I chased my enemies and caught them. I did not stop until they were conquered. I struck them down so they could not get up. They fell beneath my feet. You have armed me with strength for the battle, and you have subdued my enemies under my feet. You have placed my foot on their necks. I have destroyed all who hated me. They called for help, but no one came to their rescue. They even cried to the Lord, but he refused to answer. I ground them as fine as dust in the wind. I swept them into the gutter like dirt. You gave me victory over my accusers. You appointed me a ruler over the nations. People I didn't even know now serve me. As soon as they hear of me, they submit. Foreign nations cringe before me. They lose all their courage and come trembling from their strongholds. The Lord lives. Praise to my rock. May the God of my salvation be exalted. He is the God who pays back those who harm me. He subdues the nations under me and rescues me from my enemies. You hold me safe beyond the reach of my enemies. You save me from violent opponents. For this, O Lord, I will praise you among the nations. I will sing praises to your name. You give great victories to your king. You show unfailing love to your anointed, to David and to all his descendants forever. One thought. The title of the psalm sets the stage for this psalm. For the choir director, a psalm of David, the servant of the Lord. He sang this song to the Lord on the day the Lord rescued him from all his enemies and from Saul. This is the second longest title in the Psalms. Only Psalm 60 has a longer title. But what is going on here is that David is singing to the Lord for his rescue from the hand of Saul. King Saul, the first king of Israel, became jealous of David's success and the fact that David was eventually anointed to be the next king. So Saul attempted to murder David, but the Lord rescued David from Saul. We also find in this superscription or title that David describes himself as the servant of the Lord. Only two other people are described as the servant of the Lord in the Old Testament, Moses and Joshua. Both of those men played a crucial role in God's plan. Moses leading the people to the promised land and Joshua leading the people to conquer the promised land. So I think that David is casting himself and seeing himself as part of God's bigger plan for the world as God's quote-unquote servant. But David has other connections to Moses. For David describes his deliverance by the Lord in similar terms to what God did for the Israelites in the Exodus. For example, David writes in verse 15, "At your command, O Lord, at the blast of your breath, the bottom of the sea could be seen, and the foundations of the earth were laid bare." Just like God split the Red Sea so that the Israelites could walk on dry ground, so David's rescue from Saul is depicted as happening in a similar way. In other words, David has experienced a new Exodus. David's experience then seems to set the stage for the future work that God's anointed king would do for his people. When the new king comes from David's line, he would liberate his people from slavery and bring about a new Exodus. This just happens to be slavery from sin and a new exodus into the freedom of having a relationship with God, which is exactly what Jesus does. He frees his people from slavery to sin, death, and the devil, because his own death was a ransom for many. Jesus is the new David and the new Moses who passed through the waters at his baptism, received the Spirit, and now establishes the kingdom of heaven on earth. Jesus liberates his people so that they may serve him now, not through the works of the law, but through the power of the Spirit. Jesus is the new David, and we are his people.